All right, this is a show where we do things and talk about stuff. We're going to play some things now, some important things. As soon as I find them. Here we go.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Take it away, Matt.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matt.
And we're the
We're
monsters.
the monsters.
Yeah,
Heck
we're
yeah.
working on that.
Yeah.
So we just want to officially announce that Steven is now a permanent member of Mats and Monsters. He's the other monster along with me. So welcome officially, man. I appreciate you putting up with our shit.
No problem, man. And it's fun. It's fun for me, and this is like one of the outlets I get to talk about wrestling. And like I said before, not get bombarded with, well, you don't know shit.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing is wrestling's for everybody, man. No matter how into it you are, it's for everyone.
Damn right. Yeah, our
It
obligatory
is.
hellos.
Hello.
Daddy. That's exciting. We're gonna get a new intro next show that actually has Steven's face in it, so you guys can see what he looks like when he's not he's not in character.
An ice cream clown, a elevator operator, cookie cutter elf, that guy in a pink leotard.
Oh, we have congratulations from. I'm going to assume that this is Jenny. This has got to be Jenny.
Thank you.
And hi, Jenny.
Gotta teach her how to spell my name.
Yep, she saw you in the elevator. Yep.
Yep. My home away from home.
It's with a PH, not a V.
It's cool because even when I go to out to go to Taco Bell or anywhere I go, they have to write my name down. It's never Steven, it's always Stefan.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew your name was Steven, but I spelled it with the A and everything at the haunt because that's how it was on Facebook, and I didn't even fucking look.
Yeah,
but I knew how to pronounce it at least.
Yeah, no, it's with the AN because I apparently I'm a bully
on Facebook.
According to Facebook, I'm a bully, so or at least I'm toxic, I guess. So they kicked me off Facebook, took all my pictures, all this stuff of Dylan growing up and that. Because somebody didn't like what I had to say, and yeah.
See, she even put the A. It's EN.
Yeah, hey, no, it's fine. Like I said, on Facebook, it's with the A.
I'm just teasing her because I love Jenny, aka Saint Friday is what I call her. Well, we got WrestleMania 40 coming up this weekend, and I'm sure you have a lot in store for us, Matt. So let's jump in, man.
Oh, jeez. Cody Rhodes.
Okay, so we're gonna start with that. Okay.
What is going on here, man?
Getting his ass whooped is what's happened.
Yeah. So, we got to catch up on a few weeks. So, there's been some Jay slander with Jimmy, and we got some backup.
Is it going to be easier to just go through the card and do it that way?
Yeah, I think that should be pretty good.
I mean, 13 matches.
Yeah. You're already kind of talking about Cody and stuff, so let's talk about this the night one card with the Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth.
So yeah, Cody Rhodes got absolutely obliterated by The Rock, and he made a custom belt with his logo on it,
Wow.
and proceeded to talk to Mama Rhodes, and was whooping Cody Rhodes with it, and smeared the blood off of his forehead onto it. So that was pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And let's see what else. They tried to set Cody up, and then Jimmy and Solo came out of the crowd, and they were gonna basically shield hound him, like we've seen before.
Yeah.
But Seth Rollins and Jey Uso were in hoodies, just sitting on the sidelines. So when they said it was about to start with some business, Jay and Seth Rollins were having none of it.
Hell yeah. I'm actually kind of a little bit surprised in this situation that Drew McIntyre didn't get involved, and I'm saying that because Drew has made some comments lately and the media buzz because of that, which we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the night 2 card. But he says he's protecting his investment to make sure he gets the best match he can get out of Seth for night 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him involved a little bit for night 1 in this card.
Oh yeah.
Match.
I think there's going to be so much else going on. I don't think Drew will get involved. Honestly, I this is what I love about this year's WrestleMania. That's so hard to call the main event. It's one of the few years lately that you can't sit there and go, "Oh yeah, well this guy's obviously going to win."
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, the past 2 weeks with Cody getting his ass whooped at the end of the show would traditionally mean that Cody's going over. Cody's going to win at WrestleMania because that's usually how Vince booked.
Yeah.
We're not getting that now.
Yeah. Vince isn't booking.
No, he's not.
And H has already promised a lot of big surprises, and things we're not seeing coming according to him. So, and there's all the rumors too, man. There was the comment that Cody had made about bringing back Rock's biggest adversary, which we know is Stone Cold, and Stone Cold has posted some things hinting at a possible temporary return, on his social media feeds. At one point in time, it was just the song with the glass breaking and a close up of his name. It was nuts. So there's that, and there's the Cena references we've been seeing lately. So we could see maybe even a Cena or a Stone Cold pop in during this.
Oh yeah, that would be great too, because Cena might be on some downtime right now, and the Stone Cold's always open. Yeah. He proved that with which WrestleMania was it last year's WrestleMania, or was it the year before that?
Year before.
Yeah, year before.
38.
And that match between him and Kevin Owens was really good.
It was, man. It was. There's also other rumors about other Bloodline members being involved. Even Fatu. There's a lot of people in the Bloodline that are wrestlers, and even plenty that aren't.
And there's even been a lot of rumors up and coming ones.
Yeah. Yep. And there's a lot of rumor, the new Tatanga. There's all these rumors about all these other Bloodline members that we know at least a lot of them for sure are verified to be in attendance at WrestleMania, at least in attendance. But it makes you wonder, with this being a Bloodline match, if we're gonna see between that and the Jay versus Jimmy shit. I mean, we might as well roll Jay and Jimmy into this because they do have their own match, but there's a lot of talk about Rikishi showing up for their match.
Oh yeah.
If I read it right, I think they did say Jimmy and Jay will be night 1.
So yeah, they're night 1.
It'll be before the main event, so yeah, it'll spill over. But there's going to be a lot of Anawai family in the crowd because I don't know if you guys seen or not. They're inducting The Rock's grandmother into the
Yes,
Hall of Fame
Yes.
this year.
I did see
And
that, and their federation is unfortunately closing.
I didn't read about that one.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of them have a lot more time to do things.
Yeah, and then I know there's still interest in Jacob Fatu, which if you guys haven't seen Jacob Fatu and MLW and all this, he's Solo does a really good Umaga. Jacob has the size, Jacob has the intensity of the actual Umaga,
Right.
and
Okay,
reminds me
okay.
more of Umaga than Solo Sikoa does. Not to discredit Solo Sikoa at all, but Jacob is friggin' huge.
Oh, he is absolutely enormous. I was looking at him today because I saw them talking about him, and I was like, I should probably go watch a match or two and like kind of catch up with all these people they're naming right now because I'm not familiar. But like,
Hey, we even have the Rock's daughter. I can't forget her. I forget her name right now, but
Ava.
she's starting NXT. You
Yep.
never know. They might have that's a daughter of a legend right there. You never know whenever they'll pull her up on the main roster.
exactly. You could see her just pop in for an appearance even.
Well, right now they actually got her in a non-wrestling role. She's actually the general manager of NXT.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Not to say that she's not training and doing things, you know, in the background, but yeah. But the other thing is, if I understand correctly, wasn't there a stipulation that there would be no bloodline allowed at ringside for the Rock?
If The Rock and Cody, or if The Rock and Roman win, there will be no bloodline.
Oh, in night 2.
On night 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or I'm sorry, if Rock and Roman win, it's bloodline rules, anything goes, and essentially they've already said they're going to bring like the whole friggin' army.
Okay.
After Cody, and then if Cody and Seth win, then it's flat out straight up Cody versus Roman.
Right.
Which is why a lot of people are talking about Rock turning on Roman on night 1 and costing him that match. This way he has to actually go into a match and not have any backup.
Right.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to see that because I think we're gonna get a lot of the bloodline people rushing in for this match and for the Jay versus Jimmy match. I think we're gonna see a lot of the insanity. Because night 1 seems to be built entirely based on absolute insanity. That's my take on night 1, man, because all this shit happening. Do you have anything else for the Rock and Roman Reigns match and the Jay versus Jimmy?
That about sums it up, honestly. Like a lot of the overarching storylines with those guys are part of the Cody stuff I've already talked about.
Yeah. It's just been absolutely insane, man, and I'm seeing a return of blood, like visible blood, happening again in the WWE.
And it works because they don't do it every single week. You know, somebody doesn't sneeze and there's blood.
Exactly.
But can we also talk about real quick about how awesome The Rock's new entrance is?
Yes, please.
That
Yes.
looks so awesome on television with him slowly walking in the lightning. You know, it almost like a haunted house effect where, you know, the strobe light, the guy's walking the strobe and he's getting closer.
Oh yeah.
And it just looks so awesome.
And I guess this Rock has a name now. They're calling him the Final Boss.
Yeah, that's the Final Boss, which is hilarious because I'm going to a convention in May called Final Boss Con. So I was like, oh, he's the Final Boss. Yeah, that's his new kind of gimmick. And you know, Mick Foley said this in an interview this week, and I find myself agreeing with it. It would have been really easy for Rock to just come back as The Rock, to do the shit he always does, but to come back and do this like really hard heel turn, which honestly, that's what he's doing. It's a hard heel turn right now.
Oh yeah.
And with the new whole vibe and like the aggression he's bringing out, he's loving it. I'm loving it as well. But like Mick was like, it would have just been easy to come back and be The Rock, but in true Dwayne fashion, he couldn't just come back and just be The Rock. He had to evolve because his whole career, it was always about evolving himself to another level, to a new height. And like, that's what he's doing.
Seriously. Like we haven't every time that you see The Rock come back, it's always with a different attitude. It's never the same because you got young Rocky, then corporate Rocky.
Yeah.
Like it's so many different faces of The Rock that it just makes him so special.
Yep.
Well,
M-
and a
my-
lot of people. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about, each style of the heel Rock you get, because when he was a Nation of Domination, you got the chicken shit heel. When he, turned heel right before he retired, you had Hollywood Rock. This is neither one of those. This is, just I'm gonna go out and beat the living crap out of everybody and anyone who's gonna, get in my way, especially if you talk about my family, which essentially that's what this all started with. Is he mentioned the Rock's family, and Rock's like, all right, that's how you want to play this. I'm The Rock is jacked. He's big, and he's gonna beat the living crap out of you at this point.
Yeah, he's gonna fuck some people up. That's
Yeah,
what he's definitely gonna do.
and that's what he's done.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I've had the same conversation with you, Steven, that I've had with Matt about like the Attitude Era
Yeah.
and how much I missed elements of it.
Mhm.
You hit on one of the things though that you and I talked about previously about the blood matters if it's a serious match, but not when it's every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're bringing that attitude level back of the blood a little bit, but keeping it intelligent, keeping it modern, keeping it, where when you see the blood, it's because something major is actually happening and it matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
make it matter.
that's what I've always, had a big complaint about, like with deathmatch wrestling. I don't mind death matches. I like death matches. They're fun to watch. But give me a reason. Don't just put two guys in a ring and go, yeah, this is a Texas death match. All right, why? Did they hate each other? Did they, one sleep with the other one's wife? What's going on here? Oh no, this just because they want to prove who's tougher. Eh, That that this is supposed to be. You're supposed to make this look like a legitimate sport. How many times do two boxers get in a ring together and go, hey, you know what? Let's just punch the shit out of each other until we find out who's tougher.
Exactly.
No, no, you gotta. It's gotta have a reason.
Gotta be
Then
story to it, like some art.
the blood. It it yeah, needs, like I've said, it needs a reason, and the reason, he beat the shit out of him for like what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
felt like an eternity, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's essentially, if you're in a real fight, that's what's gonna happen, there's gonna be blood. Let's
Yeah.
not, let we not pretend, but we're just not gonna, you know, put it in a random DIY versus New Day match. We don't
Right.
need blood in a match like that. We don't need blood in what do you call it? Candice LeRae versus Ivy Nile.
Yeah. Blood has its place and when it's used well, and I think they're proving they can do that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I've had with you guys about the Attitude Era, both of you guys individually, uh, bringing back the stronger personalities and like the really story-driven personalities,
Yeah.
which kind of started dying out in the aggression era. And I really feel like this new persona of The Rock is a really big callback to that Attitude Era. And then, of course, you got, newer people like Elliot Knight, like really, really hitting on the Attitude, part of it. And like other people are kind of stepping up into it. And I feel like we're getting the good part of the Attitude Era back from that. Like we're not doing like the Repo Man and the Trash Man and Atom
Yeah.
Bomb, thank God. But, we're giving personalities the characters that deserve the deeper story driven personalities.
Raz, are you telling me you didn't like Friar Ferguson?
Man, Friar Ferguson was a whole thing. I had actually forgotten that you just mentioned it, and I just got a whole like
Yeah.
memory dump now that I wish I didn't get.
Well, it was
So the
weird.
answer is yes.
In their defense, he was only around for what, 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then he'd become Bastion Booger.
Yeah, and, Bastion Booger was at least fun though. I think Bastion Booger was hilarious and he was
He
funny.
was.
So I could put up with him. But let's switch in that if you want to talk about the weirdest attitude level personality they ever did after the attitude was long over was the ECW Zombie.
The guy was out there for like 5 minutes, so
Yeah.
Sandman could just come out and just beat his ass with a cane.
He came out and he said brains a couple times into the microphone, and then Sandman just beat his ass. And then they talked about bringing him back for another show, and then nope, he was done.
And if I remember, I think Sci-Fi had a something like a hand in that one, where they're like, "Hey, we need
They did.
like more aliens and more zombies and stuff like this on ECW and that." But at
Yep,
the same
it
time,
was a sci-fi push.
it just Sandman coming out of the audience like that without Enter Sandman playing, just it showed it doesn't work.
Yeah, it didn't. It
Yeah.
didn't hit, man. It didn't hit. As someone that's personally had beer spit in my face by the Sandman and his entrances at Harry Arena when I worked there, I can just tell you it didn't feel the same, man. It wasn't the same.
No, I only ever got to experience Sandman's entrance one time, and that was down at Rockstar, and he was just like way past his prime,
Yeah.
way past. This was a couple years ago, and it was still awesome that the whole crowd is singing "Enter Sandman" as he's walking through the crowd. He didn't even, like, it's to the point where he don't even drink it no more. He pours it down other people's,
Oh yeah.
throats. And the funny thing is, he went to my buddy John, who stopped drinking like 10 years ago. Not because he had a really bad health scare, like his
Right.
heart stopped, and he was only like 20 years old. And thankfully now I believe everything is pretty much better. He's got to go once a year to get checked up, but
Right.
he goes to pour the beer down on camera, down John, and John's like, no, 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 no. And he's just basically even Sandman looking like an asshole, like, okay, well, who wants the beer?
Yeah. I already chose the guy. You're my guy. What the fuck do I do now? Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Man, you also can't forget about Stack McSlacks too, man.
Fucking Stack McSlacks. Oh my god. We did some live playthrough stuff yesterday of WWE 2K24. Yeah, 24. And we had to do this whole thing where we had to actually wrestle as Stacks McSlacks in the storyline, and it was fucking hilarious. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm doing the women's one right now, and it's getting a little. It's a really dark part of the storyline right now, like paranormal and stuff like that.
Ooh,
wow.
that gets me
Yeah.
excited because we're gonna do that one next. We're
Oh
doing with the
yeah,
guys.
when you get here, it's kind of silly, but it's still, especially for people like us who like our horror movies, who like haunted houses and scary stuff. It's still pretty interesting.
Oh,
Well,
that's great.
our creative wrestlers like we use for the storylines are generally always horror-ish themed.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's gonna be fun. It'll match with what we do. But yeah, getting back to the card though, because we're talking
Yeah.
about how night one is this night of insanity, absolute insanity. We also have a 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, and this is Judgment Day with Damian Priest and Finn versus the Awesome Truth, which is Miz and R-Truth, versus DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Thomas. I can never say his last name.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa. Yep.
I
New
think
Day.
they say Ciampa. So
Okay, that's what I'm always confused. I call him Nag Ciampa because incense. Versus the New Day, which is Kofi and Xavier, versus New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, versus A Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. A 6-pack ladder match for the titles. Holy fuck! Why?
because they're separating the titles.
Yep.
But this is for undisputed.
No, this is what they said on Monday was they're gonna have the match doesn't stop until both sets of titles comes down. So
Okay,
that
I
okay.
missed
to
that.
me, yeah, to me that is hinting that they're finally gonna separate these titles, and we're gonna get different teams as champion, which I am all for.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I think Judgment Day loses the titles. I think they break in the Judgment Day up. There's been animosity, of course. You'll talk about it later with that match with
Oh yeah.
Dominic, working with Legado de Fantasma,
Yep.
and stuff like that. But yeah, Judgment Day's losing the belts. I think Damien's going to go on his own. I know
Good.
there's rumors about Damien possibly cashing in at WrestleMania, but I don't believe that. And to me right now, I'm thinking A-Town down. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller maybe winning for SmackDown, and maybe DIY, for Raw, because they got to do something with DIY. They got to make people care about Johnny Gargano. I like
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano, but nobody gives two shits when he comes out.
Yeah. To rewind for 2 seconds, we didn't say who we thought our prediction on who was going to win on the Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth thing.
I think that The Rock and Roman pull it out just because I feel like they're gonna do a lot of stuff with Jimmy and Jay with the bloodline stuff, but if they have a full bloodline match, there are so many people that you could pull throughout the years that are just gonna have some hopefully great pops.
So then you're saying Rock and Roman so we can have a crazy fucking night both nights.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Steven?
It's so hard to call because there's so many scenarios running through my head.
I know.
It's the years of being able to go, oh yeah, no, this guy's obviously gonna win, you know. And that goes all the way back to the Attitude Era with like if you were watching WrestleMania 14 and didn't think Austin was gonna beat Shawn Michaels for that title, like were you really paying attention?
You weren't, yeah.
But it was from then on, it's like almost every year was kind of obvious. But this is one of the few years where it's so hard. And is The Rock going to turn on Roman? Is Roman going to turn on The Rock? Is somebody else going to turn? Is somebody else going to come out and help? Seth and Cody. And I kind of agree though. I think it's going to be Rock and Roman to make night 2 so much crazier.
Okay.
Because everybody, if Bloodline rules, anything goes. Anyone can jump in. Anyone can interfere. Are we going to have like about 20 guys out there beating the crap out of each other while Roman and Cody are in the ring battling? There's so many scenarios.
Even
How
Paul
many-
Heyman could even play a part in it.
Oh, I expect him to.
Oh yeah. I mean, what was it? Was it Lat? No, it was 2 years ago SummerSlam where Brock put him through the table. A lot of people forget as big as Paul Heyman is. He'll take the bump. He'll take it.
Oh yeah, you will.
So here's my question.
Mhm.
Right now, where are we at on his? How many days has Roman held the title? Because this matters to me. Like in my whole.
I think he's like 200 days off Hogan's record.
Off Hogan's record.
Yeah.
I think it's less than that because I believe they say here. I'm looking it up now, real quick. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Google. Roman Reigns title reign. We're looking at currently. Of course, it's not going to tell me right away. 1,312 plus days.
And what was Hogan's?
14. 1,400.
So we're really close.
Where yeah, I knew we were like at least 100 or a little over 100 days. It puts it right at summer, like right either before or right at SummerSlam.
Okay. I am pretty damn confident now that Rock and Roman are going to win this one. In night 1. And I'll explain why I think that. I don't explain it until we get to night 2 because this matters.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Rock and Roman are going to beat them, so that way everybody can be involved for night 2. Because they got a lot of people to pull out. I mean, we know a lot of people are potentially going to be there. Maybe The Rock, maybe Cena, and also we know for a fact Hogan's there. We already know this.
Yep.
Hogan's booked to be there for different reasons. Some we're not even sure yet. So there's that whole thing too.
Well, we know he's there for at least autographs because he's like one of the features of that WWE World.
Yeah.
Basically, WWE Access and that. But,
yep, I was looking a lot about that. He's doing autographs. He's doing a show while he's there, and other things. We just don't know what the other things means yet.
It'll probably be hosting. He can barely walk, so I don't know how much he's gonna do like physically. It would be funny as hell though if Hogan comes down and costs Roman the title.
That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen in night 2. Seriously,
That'd be crazy.
To keep him from beating his record. It's like it's one last thing for Hogan. He can't actually wrestle. He can hardly move, but he could have one last shining, fucked up, hilarious WrestleMania moment at the last minute, costing Roman the title, and be like, "You're not taking my record," and then just walk away into the sunset.
And I would laugh so hard.
I would name this the best WrestleMania since he fought Andre if that happens.
That would be great.
If you guys, I don't know if you guys ever heard of a podcast called The Lapsed Fan.
I've heard of it, but I've not listened to it.
They are amazing, especially if you want to learn the history of professional wrestling. They go deep dive. Their podcasts are like 7 to 8 hours long because the first part, they will go into the entire history. They go through all the books. They do all the research. Jack, who's the host, like the main host. I'm sorry, I think JP. Yeah, Jack. No, Jack is the host. He's gone to college. He's a reporter, journalist and everything. He used to work for an MMA record. He's interviewed Brock Lesnar, and the funny thing is he'll play the recording every once in a while where he it's like right after Brock left wrestling the first time, and he goes he looks at Brock and goes, well, do you think you doing MMA is going to affect how people who watch wrestling think about you? And all Brock said was, I really don't give a shit, but they are hilarious. And JP is the other host, can do Hulk Hogan perfectly. He can do Vince McMahon's voice perfectly. He's an actor. He's been on a lot of TV shows and that. And they do skits halfway through their like while they're reading off, going through the card and everything like that, and they will make you laugh. The way
Oh
they
yeah.
do Hogan as this paranoid, like everything scares him backstage. If someone gets rolled up in the ring, he gets angry about it. Yeah, it's so much better if you listen to it and that, but have a lot of time if you listen to it because they're like I said, they go 6 to 7 hours.
Right.
And all I can think about is Hogan coming out there, costing Roman the title, and him going, "Not today, brother."
That would be epic, dude. I mean, but consider this: like, you've got the arguably the best champs of all time that are going to be present and around. Undertaker's in the building; he's there for autographs and some other stuff. You got Hogan. You got potentially again, Austin and Cena. You definitely have The Rock there. Sean and H are both there.
True.
And others that are going to be there, not just for the Hall of Fame that they're being inducted, but a lot of them just show up to honor all the other wrestlers and aren't even listed on cards or anything, just for the love,
Yeah.
So you got this WrestleMania 40 with again some of the greats of all time all in the building that are alive, and it's like, what do? We know the title reign, beating the record is like the biggest thing that they've been talking about Roman for years. That's been the push for him is to beat Hogan's record because there's no way they're going to kill us by going for San Martino's record. There's just no way.
No,
That's too much.
No.
It's way too fucking much.
You'll alienate a lot of the audience if you go another 2 years.
Yeah.
Even Backlund's record would be pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hogan was the most achievable record without ruining the company, in my opinion. And even it has been questionable at times. But we're so close to it now that it seems a shame not to have a new record,
Yeah, I question. I'm all for an IWC the Internet Wrestling Community meltdown. I love them. I love this week Punk doing his interview, and the meltdown from that was just epic.
Yeah, it was epic.
When it just, I love the meltdowns. I don't care what company it comes from, what fan base it comes from. I love the meltdowns and stuff. But I think there would be an epic meltdown if Cody doesn't win this belt.
Yep.
It's going to be massive, even though it's like, hey, just tune into Raw, tune into SmackDown this week. Let's see what the hell's happening. Let's see what they plan.
Right. But I think if they have that ending though, where Hogan somehow costs him the match or something, so Cody wins, it would make it would make everybody happy that Cody won.
Yeah.
But it would also be a good ending to keep him from getting Hogan's record, like because Hogan would be involved in him not being able to break his record. Like it would be like, yeah, you've been trying this long, haha, fuck you, buddy. I think all around, because Cody would win and Hogan would be involved, that would make that match, everybody would come away happy, I think. But I'm sorry, back to night one. You didn't give us your official prediction for Rock and Roman Reigns.
With me?
Yeah, and all that.
I think
we got Matt's already.
Yeah. What'd you say, Matt?
Raz, are you still here?
Yeah.
It might be on my end. Hold on.
Can you hear me, Steven?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, okay. It's Matt's end.
Oh no, I said Roman Reigns. I said I'm gonna go with Roman and Rock because the chaos the chaos for night 2 would be welcoming.
Hi, Dante. Yeah, I mean, so we're all agreement there. What about now? We're on Jay and Jimmy. We've already talked about the match, but we need to talk about who's going to win.
Oh, Jay.
Matt'll be back. Jay, I think Jay's going to win too on that one.
Yeah, I think Jay has to.
Okay.
at this point. Like he's the bigger star of the two right now. Um, he's got more going for him because if something happens and Roman loses and the bloodline ends, because there's another podcast out there that made a suggestion of what happens if Roman loses the belt and Roman just fucking fires everybody from the bloodline on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or what if the Roman just goes away? Because I think Roman's going to take some time off again after
Honestly,
Mania. He,
his medical conditions alone are a good reason to take
yeah.
a little bit of a breather. Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's I think why that's one of the reasons why I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think they made a good point. What happens if Roman's going away? So now that Rocky's part of the company again,
Yeah.
Rock takes over as head of the bloodline and goes and turns around and Solo's doing his bidding now.
Yeah.
Jimmy and
Or
what happens to Jimmy?
exactly. I think we need the Usos back as a tag team again.
I think
Personally.
yeah, especially if they're going to separate these titles. Although I want to see an Imperium title run. I want to see DOI with a title run. There's so many good tag teams now. The Creed brothers, after that match with DIY. You there, Raz? Well, I think I might be by myself. Raz, I don't know if you can hear me now. You frozen up. Live radio, guys. Well, looks like I'm by myself. Um, Wait for these guys to get back in. I'm sure they're coming back. But no, guys, if Jay is the bigger star, he's gonna go on, I think, to do a little more than Jimmy is right now until later. Trying to keep an eye out for those two. But if you guys are in the comments, go ahead and tell me what you guys think. Who you think is gonna win, Jimmy and Jay? What you think is gonna happen? Because right now I'm by myself and I'm still relatively new to this stuff. So I don't know if we need to start a new chat or not. But WrestleMania should be really good though this weekend. I think it will be. Um, Very excited. First time in a while. I've been excited about it. Waiting to see what's going on here. Sorry, guys. Bro thinks Jay will win. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jay will win. Who's your favorite on the ones coming this round? On this round, which round? Which round are we talking about here? Well, Maskets a little bit ago. Hear me out. Cody wins the title at Mania, then The Rock steals the Money in the Bank from Damian Priest, cashes in and wins the title. I don't see that as necessarily a way they're gonna go. I think Damian Priest is gonna try maybe after Mania. I don't think the Money in the Bank is gonna come in to play at Mania, just because there's so much shit. Um, there's so much other stuff going on in that main event. There's going to be so much chaos both nights that it's the Money in the Bank is just going to be drowned out if they try to cash it in on Sunday during the match. If he catches it on anybody, it might be against Drew, because I do think Drew McIntyre is going to beat Seth Rollins for the belt, and I'm all for that. Drew's been very interesting lately. Um, and I can see Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest being a good story going forward. As I said earlier, I do think they're gonna break up the Judgment Day. Dominic's gonna probably go to SmackDown or something. They're not doing as much with Rhea and Dominic anymore together because Rhea herself is like just one of the uh, she's a star. She's the biggest star in the group right now. Finn Balor's kind of faded into the background, and I think he needs to do something again. You know, he's getting up there in age, and he's going to need another final run. Um, and then of course Damian Priest is on his way to the main event scene. Um, there's so much more they can do after Mania that I don't think cashing in at Mania is going to need to be done. Um, for the matches coming up, I'm trying to like I said, we've already talked about the tag match. We've already talked about Jay and Jimmy. Uh, then of course the main event. Becky and Rhea is night one. That's another one. It's kind of hard to call that one. Um, I think Rhea just because Rhea. I know Becky's contract's coming up within the next 2 months, but I don't see her going anywhere. But I do see her and Seth maybe taking some time off after WrestleMania. I know Seth needs to hire, Seth Rollins needs to heal up, and Becky, will go, of course, go with her husband. But I think Rhea keeps the belt for a little bit longer. Um, but yeah, I see it being Bloodline rules, Solo turning on Roman, Jay, Jimmy, and Solo helping Cody winning the title. All right, so it looks like their internet is crapped out on them. So I guess it's just me for right now. I hope I'm keeping you guys going to keep you guys entertained. Let me let them know. But that's a way. That's definitely a way that can. That's a way that could happen. You know.
Hello.
Hello, Friday. Yeah, I'm just getting a message from them that their internet is still down. Is down right now. So it took them both out.
Okay. Well, yes. I am not. I am learning as we go, and I don't really
Yeah.
know much about this. I'm waiting to find out what we can do, or what else you would like to add to the conversation until we find out what we can do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, we're just going down the
But either
WrestleMania
way,
card. Let me bring it up real quick. Right now, I was talking about the women's match: Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. I know it's called something different. I just can't remember what they call them now. Let's see, WrestleMania 40 card. There it is. Like I was saying, is Rhea Ripley is the bigger star. She's gonna carry the women's division further, forward, and bringing more interest to it. And I think Becky is, like I said, I think Becky's gonna end up taking time off. Next match is one that it just got signed last Friday. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. You said
okay.
you're not familiar with wrestling.
No, I'm learning as I go.
Well, Dominic is Rey Mysterio's son, like his real life legitimate son.
Yes.
They had a falling out about 2 years ago now, where Dominic turned on Ray. They had a match last year at WrestleMania, and I think it was last. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was last year. Ray beat Dominic.
Okay.
Um, so this year, Dominic, who was in Judgment Day, is now helping out another stable, which is like a group of wrestlers, called Legado del Fantasma, ran by a guy named Santos Escobar, who his father was a legendary luchador, Fantasma, and which essentially, of course, is internet issues. Okay, I have some Matt.
Yes.
Um,
So basically, they are trying to figure out what's going on with the internet,
mhm.
and we have the option to continue going through the card, or we can shut it down here until they can find out if or when they're getting their internet back.
Well, let me see what they want me to do, because I don't mind still going. I just want to make sure, because I know they're going to want to talk about this stuff too.
That is what Michelle has sent me. They do want to talk about it, but there's
Yeah.
the internet problem. So, would you like to stop here until they can come back and then come back on when they have the ability?
Yeah, that might be a better idea, just because they're going to want to put their 2 cents in. Yeah. So we'll
Okay,
go
and it
ahead
was
and
awesome finally talking to you, and I have enjoyed you in the elevator.
thank
You
you.
are very cool. Okay, guys, we are going to shut down here, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. And where do you want people to find you, Steven?
They can find me on right now. Actually, they can find me on Twitter. I'm actually going to start my own movie podcast this Friday. Is the first episode.
Ooh,
Um, it's going to be called the Bloody Binge Podcast. It's going to be a mixture of horror movies, grindhouse movies, cult movies, and things like that. This Friday, I'm doing 1986 movie with Roddy Piper,
ooh,
um, called Body Slam. It's got Dirk Benedict, and it's directed. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, by the guy who directed Smoking the Bandits 1 and 2, Cannonball Run 1 and 2, a lot of Burt Reynolds movies. Um, and there's a couple interesting stories. There's a couple of legitimate fights on set, and very good reason why this movie never got a theatrical release like it was supposed to.
that
And
is
we'll
cool.
talk. It is very interesting, and yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday, on the Bloody Binge podcast.
I will get the links and I will put it all over our Owlite things because they need to know. And you can find me everywhere over Owlite and Fake Horror and Friday with the Library and the Blue Box. Everybody have a wonderful night. And I will help you guys find the links to his stuff as soon as I can get them from him. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.